Russ, what were some of the biggest things out of the self-scout you took from the offense?
Just we're doing some good things. Some of the things we took away from it, really our third downs were real productive when we keep it in manageable down and distances. So that's one of our areas of emphasis is to have productivity on first and second down and keep it in third and 6 or less. On third downs, we're really good when we're in that area. 3rd and 7 plus, we got to improve on. That's one of the areas. And then turnovers. Really we just got to find a way. I know they're tough at times, but we got to find a way to not turn the ball over. We're in the minus department and turnover margin. We want to get that going in the positive direction.
You guys had a play with 8 offensive linemen on the field. Have you ever seen that before? Where did that come from?
That's just some of Coach Callahan's thought there. Get in and we call it double muscle. You usually use a muscle tight end or a tackle in a muscle position, so that was a double muscle. So it's fun to signal. Looks like you're flexing. So. But you're just getting creative, really just, always talk about using your guys and putting them in positions. And it was a creative thought in that run and that plan. Got the defense we wanted, got the front we wanted with that look.
Is it stupid to think that if you came out in that formation at midfield, be a chance for a big run there because they're not playing a safety deep?
It could happen, yeah. So we knew we had a good idea what they would play versus that type of personnel grouping, and we got it. So, you could pull it out. Have done it in the middle of a game in short yardage, gone into a jumbo, which is our goal line package, in the middle of the field. Generally, you'll get a goal line defense, but some teams won't do that. Some teams won't allow that, and they won't match your personnel. We had a good feeling we were going to get matched in that situation.
Against a team like this that has Tyreek and has Jalen Waddle, do you have to go in with a super aggressive mindset of, scoring fast, scoring a lot, all that?
We always try to go in with that mindset. We do want to start fast. We've done well when we started fast, but we got to contain that throughout the game. We got to gain speed as we go on and finish strong at the end. That's kind of the point of emphasis for us this week. We do need to score. Obviously, that's a good offense we're facing. We know that. But I feel like if we play up to our potential, we'll be able to do what we need to do offensively.
Well, I was kind of thinking almost the opposite. Do you go in thinking we need to control the ball as much as possible so that they keep it away from Tyreek and Tua and those guys?
Well, we always talk about possessions, possess the ball and score in the red zone. So that's converting on third downs. That kind of plays into it. We would love 11, 12-play drives that end in touchdowns. But we'll take a 2-play drive, But that's the goal, obviously, is to matriculate the ball down the field, to quote some coaches. But, we're not overly concerned about, hey, we have to possess the ball for this amount of time. We need to be productive and score points.
Theme when you did the self-scout on why you guys got into those bad third down situations? I know there's a lot of variables there.
There are.
Yeah.
There are. Some of the things were, a penalty on second and 1st and 10 put you in second, 1st and 20. Then this last game, we had a coverage sack that put us now in 3rd and 19, and there's not much you can do in those situations. But we've really done a good job in our penalties. Knock on wood. That was another area of emphasis going into this season. And we've really almost cut our holding penalties in half. We went from 26th at this point last year, or at the end of the season, in pre-snap penalties to 3rd best in the league. So guys are really buying into that, and that's helping us. Our operation on 1st and 2nd down allows us to stay in 3rd and short.
Is it difficult to not get pulled into their game offensively and just keep your game going? The scoreboard dictates that so much, I know, but to match them up and down the field.
They have to match us as well. So we plan to score every time we touch the ball when we go out on the field. So really don't pay a lot of attention other than what the score is at that point. Like I said, I rarely watch an offensive series for the other team. We're over there trying to figure out what the next drive holds for us. We feel that with our offense, we want to possess the ball, drives, and score touchdowns, and not really concerned about the other side.
Lamar eating up the way that he is, how much has that helped you? It seems like he's just really kind of hitting his stride and his mojo with Jacoby.
Very much so, and I think we now have a really good understanding of what he does extremely well, and we're trying to put him in the best positions for him to be successful. And I know Jacoby has a real good feeling of where he's going to be and when he's going to come out of breaks and how he's going to run his routes, and it's paying off. He's really done a great job. We're lucky to get him.
Is he Verbal about that kind of stuff? Has
Oh
he been
yeah,
great about-
there's text chains going on throughout the evenings when guys are watching film. You'll hear Jacoby say, "Hey, Amari texted me last night and told me to look at this clip." A lot of work goes into it, and those guys do a great job.
How has Jacoby progressed from the first game to this point?
I think he's been outstanding for us. I know he's had some tough turnovers and some spots that he'd like to have back, but he's playing at a high level for us. Right now, I thought his game last week was exceptional. He's just consistency, just putting that together each week and then finding a way to hold on to that ball in a bad pocket, which happens occasionally. But really proud of the way he stepped up. Really proud of the way he's led this team. That's another thing that doesn't get talked about enough. He's very vocal. He's a strong leader, and guys follow him. It's been outstanding.
Have you seen like improvement that you could pinpoint he's doing this better than he was earlier?
I mean, it really just can't put it in one area. His whole game is really stepped up. I mean, you go all the way back to the beginning when we started the footwork and the whole transition into this system. From where he's come from there to where he is now, he's made great strides.
How awkward is it going to be when you have to sit a guy that's been playing outstanding for you in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's a good bad decision. It's tough, but it's good. We have we're going to have two really good players that we feel comfortable we can win a lot of games with.
Yeah, which obviously you knew that you were getting a good player when you guys made the trade for Amari, but what's something that you had to have him in the building to really get to appreciate about him?
Just his route running ability. You think you see it on tape, but until you really get to hear him talk through how he runs his routes and the way he's explosive and powerful. DBs are kind of afraid to get too close to him because he's strong. He can run through the break points, through contact. He's got a great burst. Really just his knack for route running, I think.
85 back this week or not, but was his absence in the Cincinnati game, did that force you guys to alter the game plan a little bit?
It did. Not having him definitely, made us change a few things. The personnel groupings we had, we were more versatile in who we could have on the field, minus Dave. So it did, for sure. I'm not sure when he'll be back, hopefully sooner than later. But, again, there's another guy that's put in a lot of great work this year and has had a lot of success.
Kevin said it was unusual for there not to be a tight end targeted in that game, and I'm sure David had something to do with that, but did you come out of the game still surprised that Harrison or Farrow didn't get any targets?
Yeah, and sometimes that's the way that it goes. Again, we always talk about the defense will tell you where the ball goes. We had routes in for Harrison for sure, and they covered them, so we move on in the progression. But tons of confidence in Harrison and Farrow, so it wasn't like we were hiding from the tight end position at all. It just turned out that way.
Alex, Jacoby yesterday was kind of talking about how Amari, Donovan, David, they all have very similar personalities, are pretty quiet. I mean, it just seems like kind of a rarity for the position in this league. People think of receivers as having big personalities. Right. So what has it been like kind of seeing them gel together, especially with two new pieces in Amari?
It's been awesome. That is, the positions could always be a little boisterous and outgoing. These guys are just workers. And they're really, they're diligent in what they do, and they communicate well together, and it's shown that works.
Why do you think you guys have been so effective on third down and 6 or less? And it's not just the running game. I mean, Jacoby's number one in the league at QBR on third down.
Nice.
Those scenarios. What do you think?
I think just our overall execution. Scheme is what it is. Everybody has the same scheme. We're executing at a high level in those down and distances. I think Jacoby has a really good time clock in his brain as far as when do I get off of receiver to move through my progressions. It seems like he's always right when he's moving past one to get to another, even a third. Really just playing really good quarterback, listening to his feet, going through his progressions, and finding the open receiver. Our run game helps. I know we with our backs we're third and 8, 9, 10. I mean, we feel confident we can hand the ball off and pick up a first down with the run game.
So it's also scheme and personnel. You're kind of built for that 3rd and 4 as opposed to 3rd and 12.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Wyatt, are you guys able to pull as much as you were prior, and how much you want to?
Yeah, it definitely didn't change our outside game with the guards pulling. Maybe you lean a little heavier on Joel as the puller, but Yelda did a nice job when he had his opportunities.
In terms of scoring points, I mean, will there be any more emphasis on Jacoby trying to throw more touchdown passes, or as long as you get it in the end zone, you don't care how it gets in?
Yeah, I don't think anybody really, we don't look and say, well, we only had so many touchdown passes. We want to be scoring in the red zone at a high rate, and I think we're up at the top third of the league in red zone scoring. So as long as we're punching it in down there and getting touchdowns, it doesn't matter who's getting them.
Do you expect to have Wyatt Teller? He told us he plans on playing, but how's that looking?
Sounds good to me. He was out there yesterday in practice, so I think we'll see how the week goes and how he feels after the last couple of days. But hopefully we'll get him back. I know he's chomping at the bit, as is David. Just talking to those guys, I know they want to be a part of it, and they want to be back to help their team win.
You talked about complementary football, and you guys kind of had that first full game of complementary football against the Bengals. Have you seen that kind of connection with the offense and the defense and even special teams translate here to practice as you're preparing for the Dolphins and for the rest of your season?
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. We really need to complement each other this week especially. I think it showed up a little bit in the Cincinnati game. We turned the ball over, put them in some bad spots. They got them to punt or got the ball back for us. That's going to be big down the stretch here. The second half of the season is playing complementary football. Desperate football, however you want to say it. I think we're a hungry team right now. And we know we can be good when we all play at our level of expectation. So complementary football down the second half would be great.